Welcome back to Beholder to No One. Today we are doing our very first episode of Behold Clearlight. This is a 5th edition D&D actual play, and Ryan will be hosting as the DM.
Hey everybody.
And then myself and Greg, and then our spouses Keith and Ashley will be joining us, and we are just going to have a blast and try to survive this crazy world that Ryan has created.
Well, good luck.
Ryan, take it away.
I guess I'm pretty excited to just get this started. So what do you say we just go? Is everybody ready?
Absolutely,
Yes.
let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it anyways.
Well, we're as ready as we're going to be. All right. Well, if everyone is ready, we're going to get started. You are being watched. You can feel it. But every time you try to turn and look to see what must be following you, you only see more corpses of ancient buildings filled with the same inky purple mist. You can hear the cries of creatures in the distance. Mournful howls, high-pitched screeches, sourceless whispers. More worrying, you occasionally hear scratches, breaking twigs, or a quiet breath. You try to watch in all directions, but the sounds always seem to come from where you aren't looking. But then you do see something. Glowing red eyes that seem to float in the mist with no body to contain them. Then they close and disappear. Then you see another on the other side of you. How many of these creatures are stalking you? You don't have time to find out. You hear footfalls bounding towards you. Everybody roll initiative.
Wow,
Jesus.
just jumping right into it. Okay.
Yeah, we're doing it live. We're doing it live.
It's like, wait,
Oh,
what?
well, this is going to be great, guys. Off to a fantastic start.
Hey, my first natural 20 of the night for initiative. Woo!
My first natural 1
Ah,
for a
Great.
total of 4.
Love it. All right.
First
So the way that I am going to do this is I'm just going to call out a range, and if you're in that range, then say, hey, that's me. So
Okay.
anybody got 25 to 20?
Me, 22.
Okay.
always good when the cleric goes first.
Good. Okay, 20 to 15.
18. Or 17, sorry.
Okay, 15 to 10? Nobody. All right, and then 10 to 5.
I got a 5.
Okay. And then, last but not least, what did you get?
I got a 4.
Okay.
Awesome stuff. Right off the bat.
All right. So, you hear bounding towards you the sound of quadrupedal footfalls. A creature that doesn't seem to have a solid form, it seems to be made out of the mist itself, is charging forwards towards you, and it is going to rush straight at Emmy.
Oh, jeez.
Anyone watching Emmy will see a panther-like creature lunging straight out of the mist and jumping towards Emmy. Emmy, I would like you to roll a strength saving throw.
Oh, boy.
Damn,
Not
they roll
my-
higher than a 22. Okay.
That's a 12.
12. Okay. Unfortunately, that is not going to be enough.
Oh, gosh.
Anyone looking in her direction would see a creature seemingly made out of smoke and mist jump and land on top of Emmy and pin him to the ground. Its face seems to swirl in a tornado of just lights and shadows and smoke, and a bright light shines onto Emmy's face.
Good.
You're going to take 7 bludgeoning damage
Jeez.
and 4 psychic damage.
Boy.
Damn. Is that half your HP already?
I
We're
mean,
not
it's a lot.
Well, this is going to be an hour episode, guys.
Each week we have new characters.
It's not supposed to be a one-shot, but we're treating it as such.
Emmy, this situation has got you starting to think what got you into this situation. So we will flash back. You are being handed supplies by a worker at the guild where you apply your trade. The person behind the counter, is handing you things like healing salves, a fresh set of gauze,
Fresh
And-
pair of underwear.
yep, fresh pair of underwear, which you might need as well.
Yes. Seems very
And
useful.
the person behind the counter, whose name you can't remember right now, you have trouble remembering any of these people's names, asks, so, Emmy, what are you doing with all this stuff, by the way?
I mean, I'm a doctor, so just doing my business.
Well, yeah, but like, what's all these supplies for? You like going someplace special, or?
I'm thinking I'm gonna try to finally go on the outside. I've been stuck in this place for far too long.
I'm sorry, outside the walls of the city?
Yes, it's gonna be all sorts of fun.
Right, okay. That's fucking insane, but okay. So I will write down that we are probably not getting this stuff back then.
Well, you have no faith in me.
He just gives you a look. And then it is your turn in the initiative. What are you doing? You've got this creature on top of you.
Oh god.
It's shining a bright light into your face, and you can see, like, in a tunnel of smoke, just a bright light far in the distance, farther than it possibly could be inside this creature's body.
Okay.
Don't look into the deadlights.
So I'm gonna try to get this thing off of me, so I am going to summon my spiritual weapon, which is actually pretty much a staff with a chattering skull on top of it. And I am just going to smack him with my spiritual weapon to try to get him off.
Go ahead and roll your attack then.
Okay. That is a 17.
Ooh, a 17 is going to do it.
Woo!
Twice.
The spiritual weapon, in a sort of a panic, you summon the spiritual weapon directly above the creature, just behind it, and it smacks down on top of the creature's body. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. That's going to be a 4. Not very much.
Okay, well, 4 damage is better than no damage.
Only 300 more to go.
And the rest of you, looking at this creature, see the spiritual weapon come down and crack on this creature's back, and the smoke is sort of dissipated around where it hits, and you can see underneath the smoky, misty blackness, a skeleton is inside the creature. It seems to be a skeleton covered in smoke.
Well, that's not normal.
That's awesome, though. I love that.
All right, and you said 4 damage, right?
Yeah, and that was just a bonus action, so I could also attack, right? Or is that
Go
attack?
for it.
No, that's your bonus
Okay.
action.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to also try to hit it with my mace.
Okay, you frantically reach for the mace at your side.
Ooh, that's a 24 to hit.
24 to hit will definitely do it.
I really hope
And all right, that's gonna be 6 damage.
6
Six
more
bludgeoning
damage. All right, you manage to reach down and grab the mace that you have at your waist and just push the creature away enough to be able to crack it across the face. It is briefly like knocked over to the side, and you are able to stand yourself up again, unless you'd rather stay on the ground.
Oh no, definitely not. I'm definitely gonna get up.
It's so
Creature-
comfy down there.
The creature shakes its head and then glares back up at you. It's difficult to tell. It doesn't have a lot of facial features.
Probably gonna try to studying it while he's staring at me somehow, even though I'm scared.
All right. Gregthos,
Yes.
you see this creature made out of smoke and mist glowering at your companion next to you, and you also wonder what got you into this situation. You remember a few days back when your master brought you up to the top of the walls to show you something. The two of you are sitting atop the high walls of the city, looking out over the vast expanse of broiling, almost boiling looking mist. But you're not looking really at the mist. You are looking up at the sky, and what you see is the rarest, briefest glimpse at a part in the permanent overcast, so that you can actually see the stars. This is a rare occasion. What are you doing?
Just staring up in awe at this point. It's just so vast and just beautiful. I've never seen this before in all my life.
Yes, it is a wonderful sight. It is not something we get to see very often. But I brought you up here for something even more special. Your master points out over the mist, and you can see a massive tree sticking up out of the darkness. That's always there. Anytime you go up high enough to be able to see over the walls, that tree is just looming. Impossibly large, looks far too, must be towering over all the other trees over there. But this time, the tree has lights shining from it. There are lights that look like perhaps a mirror of the stars or an extension of the stars just traveling up through the trunk and out through the branches, twinkling. That is something special. This happens very rarely. And to have both the stars in the sky and the bright lights of that ancient tree is truly a good omen.
And equally beautiful.
Precisely. And now you're back in the ruined city street.
Oh, less
watching
beautiful!
This terrifying creature in front of your group. What are you doing?
Well, remembering that, the time that we just went over, I'm going to use my wild shape to...
Okay.
Basically, I start to glow, and I have a star map tattooed all over my body that start to glow, and it says, just so I'm aware here, because this is the first time I've used this subclass, let's see. Spend a use of your wild shape feature to take on a starry form rather than transforming into a beast. And then I think I pick one of these three things. I will choose Archer, which says you gain a bonus action to make a ranged attack of 60 feet, dealing 1d8 plus 3 radiant damage.
All right.
But I believe the wild shape is a bonus action, so I can't do that this turn.
Okay.
As cool as that is. So, where is the beast in relation to me right now?
It is standing just next to Emmy, having just recently been pushed off.
Okay, so in my starry form, I will take a couple steps forward to try to kind of distance myself from my party a little bit. And I'm going to point a finger out at this beast, and I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt.
All right. Go ahead and roll to attack.
We'll do that. Let's see. That is a 22 to hit.
That will definitely do it.
Sweet! Alright. Oh, well, I rolled on D&D Beyond, so I guess I'll just take that. It is 17 radiant damage.
17 damage. Great. Perfect. Love it.
Nice.
And he glows a little bit, so the next attack against him has advantage.
Right. The rest of you see Gregthos, your companion, take a few steps forward and point out a finger, and just bright white light shoots from the finger and impacts with this creature's body, and it turns away from Emmy to hiss at Gregthos, but it's the skeleton that you briefly saw revealed when the spiritual weapon struck it is now glowing bright, so it is easy to see exactly where to strike at this creature rather than trying to hit somewhere in that mist.
Emmy, get back!
All right.
I'll try.
And when you call out for Emmy to get back, another creature appears just behind you.
Jeez.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, kind of creepy how they just come out of the map like that.
That's really cool.
That is
They went really fast.
That is actually how these creatures are appearing. They are difficult to see when they're hiding in the mist. You could only have a vision range of about like 80 feet maybe, and these creatures can bound out of it, and as soon as while they are inside the mist, they are sort of becoming a part of it, it seems. But this one rushes towards you and tries to jump onto your back as you are aiming your finger at the other one. It is only going to roll a 7, though. So you hear it coming at you from behind, and you turn around just in time to see the creature leaping out at you, and you manage to jump to the side just in time. The creature skids along the ground a few feet past you, and it turns back towards you and hisses again, and it's going to try to make one more attack against you.
Oh.
That one is going to be a 20 to hit. So that is going to do it. This one is going to jump up, and it puts both of its paws on either of your shoulders. And its face, that once held red glowing eyes, sort of turns into a tornado of mist, and you also see a bright light shining from inside the creature's body, that in a tunnel that appears far too long to fit inside this. You are going to take 4 bludgeoning damage and 4 psychic damage.
It's not quite as pretty as the one that my master showed me, but hey, pretty nice.
Somewhat horrifying, actually.
Oh, well. I get my emotions confused.
Alright, after that creature attacks, you are, Rissa, able to hear another creature coming from behind you.
Oh, God.
When will they end?
Yes, it is impossible to tell how many of these creatures there are. But this one emerges from behind you, Rissa, and starts charging forward at you. It is going to leap out at you once again, just like the others, but this one is going to roll a 10, which I don't think is going to hit you.
Surprisingly, no.
You see it actually jumps and lands on you, but you actually are able to use the weight of the creature and just roll with it and push it off of you. And its momentum just carries it all the way past you and lands on the other side. It sort of skids along the ground, but it is able to catch itself and sort of try and spin back around and try to jump on you one more time. That one is going to be a 16. Does that hit you?
Yeah.
All right. So that is going to be...
I'm a squishy girl.
6 bludgeoning damage and... 3 psychic damage. As the creature lunges once up again at you and... grabs onto you with 2 of its paws and opens up its face to show you the bright light that sears into your mind. It's causing your thoughts to become jumbled, and it becomes difficult to think about your next move.
That's rude.
Seuss, all of the companions you've
Yes.
been traveling with are being attacked by these strange shadow beasts. And you also think back to what brought you out here into this death. We see Seuss walking into a small, very simple office. There is nothing in here but a plain wooden desk, a single lamp on top of the desk, and behind it is sitting a young woman, maybe, it can't be older than 25 even, probably younger than that, but she is sitting and she gestures you to sit across from her, and she gestures towards this other simple wooden chair on the opposite side of the desk. She says, "Ah, yes, Mr. Seuss, is it?"
That is correct.
Ah, yes, very good, very good. I've got a lot of people coming in here today, so I want to make sure I've got all the names right. So, tell me, you are applying to join the group that will be venturing outside for a grand adventure. Is that correct?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. And I can see that you, with the weapons that you carry and your general, she looks you up and down, menacing build, that you are probably quite the capable fighter. So I will, she starts scribbling notes and just sort of like mumbling to herself. Says, he's this sword. Anyway, I have many questions to ask you, but I prefer to start with the most important one. What brings you here? For what purpose would you like to venture outside the walls on this mission with us?
I mean, what purpose does anybody have to go outside the walls in these times?
Very good questions, but I mean specifically, what drives you to do this? Many would call this mission perhaps unwise is a good word for it.
Well,
What makes you see the wisdom that my employer sees in it?
there's so much lost out there. You don't know what you might find, and there's not much left in this city for me. So maybe there's something out there that would be useful.
Well, that's good enough for me. She starts scribbling down some more notes. And after that memory flashes into your head, you look around and see everyone being attacked by these strange creatures. What are you doing?
Well, I'm not going to be panicking. I'm just the very plain look on my face. I'm just going to walk past my comrades over here and come up behind this beast, whatever kind of beast it is. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm just going to pull out my sword and strike at it.
All right, go ahead and roll your attack then.
All right.
In my head, knowing your characters, I heard, I'm going to walk past my teammates and off the map and then just leave.
The first hit will be a natural 20.
Okay then.
Nice.
Ooh,
Nice.
it's a good start.
23 slashing damage.
Okay then.
Ouch.
Voice.
So you reach for your weapon and brandish it, and while this thing is seemingly like holding on to Gregthos and staring into his face, you have just plenty of time to line up your weapon and slash out at this creature and crack directly into the back of its spine. It lets out a guttural, terrifying hiss or screech. It is unsettling to hear.
And then right where my sword was, right after I cut through him, I'm just going to pull it back up and strike him again
All right.
from the underside.
Whenever you strike with your sword, it sort of pushes the smoke and mist away and exposes the skeleton underneath.
12.
12 total?
Yes.
Unfortunately, that one is not going to hit.
Alrighty.
So you line up your sword one more time, and the creature, now knowing that you are trying to attack it, jumps to the side, releasing Gregthos. You briefly look over at Gregthos, and he sort of like shakes his head, and you can sort of see the light that was shining out of that creature is also faintly still glowing in his eyes.
But seeing that all these creatures just kind of ambushed us, I am going to action surge.
All right.
Nice.
So I will get 2 more attacks. 16 to hit.
Yep, that'll do it.
12 slashing.
12 more slashing damage. Cool. After the creature jumps away from you, it sort of hisses at you, and while it is trying to intimidate you, you, undaunted, just slash directly towards it without pause.
And 1 more attack. A 24 to hit.
That will definitely do it.
For 14.
14 more damage. All right.
And that will be my turn.
All
It's
right.
quite a turn.
Ridiculous.
That certainly was a turn.
Yeah.
All right. Rissa,
Me.
you are staring into this, what appears to be a hurricane of smoke and mist with a bright light at the end of it. And it is making it difficult to think, but you are able to shake your head for just a brief moment and think back to the last thing you did before you left.
Mhm.
Before you left home, I mean. You are packing up your things, an extra pair of boots, and various supplies that you're going to need for this insane journey. And your father, behind you, hear him shout, "Outside the walls, are you fucking insane?"
No more than you, Papa. No more than you.
Sort of presses his fingers to the bridge of his nose like he's trying to suppress a headache. He says, "Well, you can't you're just going to leave your mother here to just after losing her son so soon?"
I'm gonna find him. Don't you worry about that. And Mom knows that I can take care of myself. I won't be alone.
And you push past him as you go, leaving your room, going out into the living room, and you see your mother trying her very best to knit something, but her fingers and her hands are a little too shaky, and she sort of puts them down with an exasperated sigh and looks up at you, sees you carrying all these supplies for your journey, and says, "Oh, hello, dear.
Hey, Mom.
Are you heading out?
I am.
Be safe wherever you're going. Don't be out too late."
Don't worry. I'll have a little special thing to keep me safe, and I'll hold out a necklace
Yes.
that she gifted me.
Very good. And you walk over, kiss her on the forehead, and walk outside the door with your father following, flummoxed and seeming like he wants to say something but unable to put the words together. And now you're back looking at this creature. What are you going to do?
I'm going to look at them and say, this is not what I was expecting. And I'll point at the one close to Emmy and go, you, please stop. And I'm using unsettling words to give them minus a d8 on their next saving throw, which is a bonus action. And then I'll pull out some mica and sprinkle it across the floor as I cast Shatter at both of the remaining creatures. The one that's in front of me and the one that's besides Emmy. I'm pushing it outwards this 10-foot radius so it doesn't hit my allies.
All right.
And I'm casting it at 3rd level.
So they are both going to need to make saving throws, right?
Yes, con saves, DC 15, and the one on the right has minus 1d8.
All right, go ahead and you can go ahead and roll that d8.
Minus 5.
All right, so that is going to bring the total to a 4. So it is going. That one is going to fail, and we are also going to. I'm going to roll for the one that has been harrying you. That one rolls significantly higher. That is a 22.
That will pass, but it will still take half damage.
All right, go ahead and roll your damage.
So because I'm rolling it or doing a 3rd level, it is 4d8, which I do not have 4 of, so I'll have to roll 3. I rolled 2 8s and a 6 so far.
Wow.
Jeez.
And then a 3, so 16, 22, 25 points of damage to the one that failed. And half, so 12 damage or 13 damage to the one that passed.
All right. A cacophonous clang sound bursts from the ground just behind these two creatures, and they are both shocked by the thunderous noise. Both of them seem to twitch and writhe with the pain and force of this blow.
And that will be my turn.
All right. All of the creatures now are watching you, hissing, still mist pouring off of them and rejoining their bodies, and none of them seem to have particularly solid forms, but now that they seem to have lost the advantage, but they haven't given up just yet. One of them is going to try, the first one, the one that tried to eat Emmy earlier, is going to try once more to leap onto you. It rolls a natural 1 though, so that is not going to work.
Nice.
It is still vibrating and shaking from the attack it just took. So when it tries to reach out for you, it doesn't even fully make it, and you just take a small step backwards and you're out of the way. It is going to try one more time to hit you. That one is going to be a 14. Does that hit you?
No, that does not.
All right, so this time it after it lands from the first attempt, it tries one more time to reach out, and this time you're able to sort of get your hand up just in the path of the creature's claw swiping out at you, or claw, paw, whatever it is. You manage to, you feel the bone inside the smoke and push it back away from you. That is going to bring us to Emmy. What are you doing?
So this thing kind of got pushed back a lot, right? So it's like not right next to me.
My shatter spell doesn't move it.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't move it. Oh, okay. Okay. So that's good then. So I'm gonna use my spiritual weapon to attack it, and it still has advantage on it because of Gregthos's guiding bolt, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and attack it with that. All right. Alright, I'm gonna go with that. Does a 14 hit?
Yes, it does.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. I was gonna say I rolled really bad even with advantage. I was like, oh god. Alright, that's gonna be 9 damage.
9 more damage to this creature.
And that's force damage. And then I am going to cast, as my action, I'm going to cast Word of Radiance. And I'm just going to point in his direction and go, and pretty much say Amax, which is Egyptian for burn.
Oh dear.
It's a divine word. And he has to make a Constitution saving throw. This is the one that has the minus D8 one, right? Or is that still in effect?
That was a one-time thing.
Oh, one time? Oh, darn. Okay. So it's a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. That is going to be a 14.
Darn it. That just beats my save.
Okay.
Shoot, so it doesn't take any damage then.
All right then. You see flames start to flicker inside its body, but they don't seem to have any effect. It doesn't have a solid form to burn.
At least my handy staff was able to hit him.
You look over at your staff. Zadite.
Zadite.
All right.
It just chatters at me.
Gregthos, you're up next.
I'm going to step back, or step about 10, 15 feet away, so I will take an attack of opportunity.
Sort of take a few steps back. The creature notices that you're faltering, or at least that's what it believes. So it is going to rally itself and try to make one more attack against you. It is going to roll a 10, though. Sorry,
Aha!
11. So it is not going to be able to grab you.
Too fast for you.
Swipe and a miss.
The old man is swift.
Yeah, pretty fast for an old guy.
Again, Archer says I gain a bonus action, make a ranged attack, 60 feet, dealing 1d8 plus 3 radiant damage. So I guess I will do that at the same one that I was attacking previously, the one over by Emmy.
Okay.
So ranged attack over that way. Let's see. 17 on die plus, I think it's plus 5.
That will do it.
Alright. D8. That will be 9 radiant damage.
9 radiant damage. All right. As you blast starlight at this creature, you see it sort of sears through and blows even more of the smoke away from this creature. For just a moment, the entire skeleton is exposed, and it looks like maybe a giant cat. It's difficult to tell. You haven't studied a lot of skeletons. And the mist is slowly starting to reform on it, but it's going more slowly. This thing is looking like it is getting weaker and weaker as time goes on.
Good to know. I guess I'll throw another guiding bolt that direction then.
All right.
As my action. That will be a 21 to hit.
That will do it.
Alright, I'll just roll again on D&D Beyond because I don't feel like grabbing 4d6. Holy crap. 22 radiant damage.
Oh, well, as you point with your other hand, another blast of radiant white energy shoots at this creature, and it hasn't had time to reform the smoke and mist around its body, so you just hit the skeleton directly, and the skeleton, at least a part of its spine, is just blasted away, and it just sort of falls into just a pile of bones.
Nice.
Insurmountable nothing.
1 down, 2 to go.
Indeed, that will end my turn.
All right. So,
Thank you for that, Gregthos. I didn't think that thing was ever going to leave me alone.
It may not have. Hard to tell.
all right. Well, after that, the 2 remaining creatures are sort of looking around at the 4 of you, now feeling a little bit less in control of things. This one, the creature that was trying to attack Rissa, is going to back away and try to get a more favorable position and not be surrounded. But that does mean you are going to have an opportunity attack, Rissa, if you would like.
Would Keith get an opportunity attack as well?
Zeus is his name.
Sorry. Because he was also within 5 feet.
He was adjacent.
Sure, go for it.
I will not take it.
Well, fine.
Okay.
La-di-
Well, you do have your back to it.
La-di-da-da.
Anyway, focusing more on the one that was that you were attacking before.
I
But it is going to reposition itself.
Oh well, I missed. I rolled a natural 1 with my rapier attack.
Oof.
Man, 2 natural ones already.
Doing great.
The creature backs away, and you swipe at just where it was a second ago, but you swear that's where it was, but it's just smoke, and then suddenly it's next to Gregthos, and it is
Thing moves too quickly.
going to
They're cats.
make another attack, desperate this time.
Bring it!
That is going to not hit. It is not going to be enough. And then it's going to try one more time. Unfortunately, that one is going to be a 12, which I don't believe is enough to hit you.
It sure isn't.
All right, so the creature rushes by you and tries to swipe out at you with both of its claws, but it is unable to find any purchase. You back yourself up against the wall of the building that you had gotten close to. After seeing that it is unable to make significant, unable to do significant damage to any of you, it is going to attempt to retreat and run off into the alleyway between two of the buildings. You are also going to get an opportunity attack, Gregthos.
Alrighty, here we go. Where do you think you're going? Never mind. You're probably going wherever you want to go. I rolled an 11.
That is not going to do it. You swipe out at the creature, but it also just seems to be where you thought there was just a solid thing. In fact, you felt the wind rush past you as its claw swiped towards your face. You swipe out where that just was, and it's just smoke that you hit. And the creature dashes into the alleyway between the two buildings and disappears into the mist.
Damn.
That is going to bring us to the last remaining one of these creatures. This one is pinned up against a wall and unable to fully retreat, so it is going to make one last desperate attack at Zeus, who is preventing it from escaping. That is going to be a 17 to hit.
That will miss, and I'm going to parry him with my sword, and using my reaction, I'm going to use Riposte and do an attack on him. So as I parry his claws, I'm going to just stress straight where I believe his skull to be.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack.
That is a 10 to hit, which I believe is a miss.
Yes. So the creature swipes out at you, and anyone looking in his direction will see Zeus also make another swipe out of the creature, and it seems that they're both too fast, unable to hit each other. But this creature is going to try one more time to try to claw out towards you. That is going to be a 21 to hit.
That will hit.
All right. So this time you are going to take 8 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And as it scratches its claw or whatever it is across the front of your armor, you can feel a creeping headache starting to form in your mind, and you take 1 psychic damage.
Oh shit.
Just a little headache.
Yeah.
Tension headache.
Yeah. I have some excedrins, okay.
He goes to swing, just like, oh god.
All right. This creature is actually going to stand its ground and not try to retreat.
Ah, it's from Florida.
Oh god. That brings Zeus. It is your turn.
Florida cat. Well, seeing as how it is deciding to honorably die here, I will help it, and I will just take another attack at it.
All right then.
23 to hit,
23 will definitely do it.
or 15 damage.
15 more damage on this one. Okay.
And then second attack, I'm just gonna go thrusting where I believe a skull is, where I tried to hit last time, and try for it again. For 19 to hit.
Yep, that'll do it.
8 slashing damage.
8 more damage. Okay. Right. You slash out with your sword and are able to cut across one of its paws, legs. It's hard to tell. These things don't seem to have permanent body parts that sort of just emerge from the misty cloud that makes up its body. But you are able to feel a little bit of bone underneath, and you use that leverage that you get from the first attack to be able to crack it on the side of the head with your blade one more time.
And then to prevent it from running away like all the others, just in case it gets the urge to do that, I'm going to shift over to the side and make sure it has no easy escape route.
The creature hisses at you, looking around, now seeing that it is surrounded. It's the smoke and mist sort of start to become... They roil and boil around its skeleton even faster now.
Cool.
But that is going to bring us to Rissa.
I will look at it and go, is that all you have? As I cast Vicious Mockery on it.
All right.
So it has to make a wisdom save.
Wisdom saving throw, okay.
You're no
these things are
more
not-
dangerous than a house cat. I have been scratched worse by a stray.
All right, it's going to roll a 13.
It fails.
All right, the creature, you're not entirely sure whether it can understand you, but you lace your words with magic, just like always, and you can see it sort of cringe at your remarks.
It'll take a whopping 4 psychic damage from my mad insult skills and have
Okay.
disadvantage on its next attack.
All right.
If it gets one.
It's certainly going to try.
And I will back
but
up
that-
5 feet away from it.
All right. Emmy, you're up next.
Seeing that the one that was next to me is dead.
It appears to be. It's just a pile of bones in front of you now.
All right, I'm gonna move my spiritual weapon 20 feet towards it, and I'm going to try to hit it with my spiritual weapon.
All right.
That's gonna be a 18 to hit.
Yep,
Nice.
18 hits.
At least something's doing something. My spells can't hit, but my spiritual weapon sure can. All right, that's gonna be 4 damage.
Okay, 4 more damage.
And then as my action, I am going to cast Sacred Flame.
All right.
And that's a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, dexterity saving throw for this creature.
Probably very dexterous.
It does appear to be very dexterous, but it rolled a 7.
Ooh,
Nice.
cool. All right, so it's going to take...
It is currently distracted by the being attacked from all sides, and you take that moment.
All right.
And the mad insult.
So it's going to take 7 radiant damage.
All right. What is the form of your sacred flame?
Mostly it's just I guess it's like a just a kind of like a flicker of light above it, and it just starts to get bigger and bigger, and it just kind of like slams down on top of his head.
All right. The radiant beam of light crashes down from the sky and washes over this creature, briefly pushing just about all of the smoke away from its body. It seems like the light's attacks based on light seem to be doing more damage to these creatures, and it is very unhappy with you.
My staff just chatters at it.
Oh god.
I'm still imagining Bob every time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Just sarcastic comments and talking about books that are adult related.
Well, Grigthos, you see all of this happening before you. What's your next move?
Guess I'll just take a step toward it, or 2 steps toward it, so I'm within melee range, and take out my quarterstaff and take a swing.
All right.
Swing better.
That's a natural 20.
Oh dear.
With my quarterstaff,
Sweet.
no less.
Had a home run.
Just so I know, are we doing roll the dice twice, or are we just doubling the regular die?
Go ahead and roll the dice twice.
Okay.
It's way more fun that way.
Oh shit. 5 and a 6, so that'll be 13 bludgeoning damage.
13 more damage on this smoke mist creature. All right.
And then, I guess for the hell of it, I'll have disadvantage, but I do get the bonus action ranged bolt attack for my my wild shape.
Okay.
So I guess I'll take that. Now that I think about it, I probably should have done that first, but oh well. So I'll take the disadvantage to make a ranged attack at it.
All right.
Not bad. 16.
16 will hit.
Nice.
Yay! And it's 1d8 plus 3, so an 8. So 11 radiant damage.
All right. You crack this creature on the back across its spine as it is trying to look in all directions to keep an eye on everyone attacking it from all sides, and it sort of recoils away from you, and you reach out with your hand and blast it with another beam of radiant starlight, and the last bit of smoke and mist is blown away from its skeletal body, and the bones just sort of fall to the ground in a pile.
Haha!
Hooray. Fantastic job, Gregthos. I am impressed.
Thank you. I didn't know I could do that either.
Then why are you out here if you didn't think you could do that?
You know, I don't have a good answer for that.
We all
Truly,
have
I
our
very well.
reasons for being out in the mist and discovering or whatever.
Everybody needs information,
Oh.
right?
Well, you all...
I'm sure those are not the last of them.
Right.
We should
In
be on our
fact, as
guard.
you look around, you can see a couple of those red glowing eyes in the mist in the distance, but no more of them seem to be coming close to you. They seem to have gotten the hint. By the way, Seuss, you are the only one who was not attacked by one of those strange whirling, boiling.
I was hit by one of
You were
them.
hit, yes, but it never got a chance to pounce on you and use that strange
Yes.
light, shine that strange bright light into your face. And you look around at the rest of the group, and they all have this white light. It seems like shining from inside their light. It's not illuminating anything, but it looks like their eyes are just particularly shiny. And as you watch the rest of them, the light seems to be fading. And everyone who was hit by that, which is everyone else, you feel like you saw something horrible, and you can't remember what it was.
I'm just gonna walk up to Gregthos, like kind of uncomfortably close, and look directly into his eyes and be like, "Do you feel okay? Your eyes look a bit different."
And as you watch, the light is fading until his eyes have returned to normal.
So we don't
And
remember
since
the
you are-
creatures?
They're
or-
normal now.
No, you remember the creatures. You feel like there was something terrible, and you're sort of glad you've forgotten it.
Mm.
Like a nightmare you've just woken up from. You remember the whole fight. You remember everything that's just happened, but you feel like was there something else that happened that you can't remember? You're not sure. But since you are looking so closely at Gregthos, what does he see? Greg.
Well, a very tall Goliath, older individual, long white beard, eyes just glazed over white all the time. In one hand, I clutch a quarterstaff, and the other a small bag of trinkets. On my body, it's a I wear no upper armor. My chest is bare, and very hefty, but comfortable pants of some kind. And on my body itself is a star map that I've had tattooed throughout the many years I've lived here. And then I guess he just sees white because he's staring into my eyes. Little uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean, I feel fine. I don't understand why you're asking. I also just realized this isn't the voice I gave my character. There we go. That's better. Sorry.
Your eyes were a little shinier than normal there for a minute, but they seem to be fine now. And then I'll look back at the other two and check to see if their eyes are still different.
Gregthos, you're looking back at Seuss, and you take this moment to examine his appearance. And what does Gregthos see when he's looking back at Seuss to see if his eyes are indeed as also extra shiny or something?
Specifically, what does your butt look like?
Oh dear.
Well, you can't see my butt because all you really see is a pretty tall man, probably, well, not really tall. He's about average size. He's about roughly 5'7", 6 foot at the most. Man with white hair, slightly tan skin, and a really shoddy, dirty cloak covering pretty much his entire body, with just enough opening for him to easily be able to pull out his sword and defend himself if needed. And that's pretty much all you see.
All right. Clarissa, you look over at Emmy. Emmy sort of dusting off his cloak after being forced to the ground by this creature.
You missed a spot, and she'll dust off his shoulder.
Thank you.
And but what does Clarissa see as she looks over at Emmy?
Emmy's pretty much a tall high elf, very pointy ears. It's like a mid-length wavy black hair. Can't see much of his skin because he's pretty much covered head to toe in a long trench coat with white gloves covering his hands. And when you look at his face, you also notice that he has white and black face paint that makes his face look like a skull. And when you get closer, you can actually notice that it's not face paint, it's actually a tattoo that is on his face. So it's permanently affixed to him.
Juggalo life.
Oh god.
That was 10 times more creepy in that voice.
I'm down to ground till I'm dead in the ground, y'all.
Despite how dusty he is, you could tell he's very immaculate in the way he dresses, and he seems to be very self-conscious about the idea that he might be slightly dirty.
Right. Well, now that Seuss has pointed out that another one of your party members seems to have something strange going on with their eyes, Emmy looks more closely at Clarissa, and you can also see for just a moment it seems like a bright light. It looks like almost like her eyes are reflecting a bright light in the distance, but then that fades away.
Yeah, Emmy's gonna pull out one of those little eye light things and kind of shine it in her eyes to see if she's okay. Sorry, it's a habit. I'm sorry. And they puts it away.
But what would Emmy see looking over at Clarissa?
Clarissa is pretty short, probably about 5'3", but she is wearing leather armor, and her clothes are pretty nice. You can tell they're created for a higher standard of living. Any skin that's showing other than her face is completely covered in black and white tattoos. So every single part of her is covered. And then her long blonde hair is braided in pushed over her shoulder. She has, when the glow is gone, you can see that her eyes are more ambery yellow. And she is carrying, puts her rapier into its sleeve again, as she's just like, you are a little too close for comfort there, sir.
About that, I'm a doctor, and it just kind of kicks in that I need to make sure you're okay.
Be sure to maintain social distancing, guys. Boundaries.
Well, now that these strange creatures have retreated or been dealt with, you can look around again, and you do occasionally see another set of those red glowing eyes watching you. But none of them seem to be approaching for the moment, and you can still see, just in the distance, the bright shining lights of the city that you just left. Clearlight. And as you take a second to behold it, you think about earlier this morning when you left to go on this strange journey. And the view from up in the tower is both beautiful and daunting. You are standing in a large circular room. Behind you is the elevator from which you emerged, and in front of you is an ovular table with 20 chairs. Floor-to-ceiling windows all around the tower allow you to see beyond the city walls, and you imagine the telescopes evenly spaced around the perimeter would give an even better view. Standing in front of one of the windows is the leader of this strange organization and the founder, Melira Valtion. Her back is turned to you with her fists on her hip in a triumphant pose as if you've already claimed victory. And she speaks to you without turning around. Take a good long look, everyone. And you do look out through the glass to get a view of your home that some of you might never have seen before. Clearlight is a bustling city where the steam engines that power the protective crystals scattered throughout the city can always be heard. Up here, though, it's relatively quiet. The city's chugging along is a distant whisper, and so all that is left is the shining brilliance of the lights that keep you all safe. Beyond that, though, there is the darkness. A dark, purple, swirling mist that curls around the city every day and every night. That is your goal. The wilds beyond the city walls. We will use these telescopes to scout out the area to plan your excursion. I've already scouted out some points of interest, but you are free to take a look anytime and organize your own missions amongst yourselves. And we're going to flash forward a little bit. You are walking through the city. Now, for some of you, this might be the lowest you've ever been. You're at the ground floor, walking towards the massive walls, the gate surrounding the city. You pass by a small group of men and women who start shouting you as soon as they see you. They yell things like, "The walls will keep us safe," and "Keep the gates closed," and "You're going to get us all killed." Melira keeps her head up and conspicuously ignores them. How do you all react to being harried by these people?
Rissa flicks off the one that says they're gonna get us killed.
From somewhere in the crowd of people, a pebble just flies over some people's heads, and I'm actually going to roll an attack for this. A 16, I believe, does hit you, Rissa, correct?
Yep.
All right. A small pebble hits you in the middle of your forehead.
She doesn't act like it hit her. Even though there's probably blood going down her forehead now. She's just like...
It wasn't that big. It was a small pebble, but... Melira is still sauntering ahead, seeming to not, just ignoring all these people shouting. Some people even have signs and are just, nobody seems to be happy that the gates are going to be opened for such a silly reason.
Zeus is just gonna look at them like they're all pathetic, basically.
I'm gonna just
look at pity.
Just deadpan, straight ahead.
Are they always like this?
Melira turns back to you and says, "Well, I don't know, actually. I've never done this before."
Nah.
No one's ever done this before, actually. Y'all are making a maiden voyage, so to speak.
Interesting.
But then she turns back toward one of the keepers, wearing very elaborate, decorated armor. Seems to be somebody important in the organization that maintains and protects the walls that surround the city. But she approaches this man, and he, seemingly expecting her, before she even says anything, says, "Now, are you, well, alright, last chance. Are y'all sure about this?"
Of course.
Yeah.
Nothing better to do.
Melira just nods her head and gestures toward the gate.
What am I gonna do, stay here and run a business? That sounds boring.
Well, alright then. Sarah, throw the light. And you see up at the top of the wall, a large spotlight is pointed downward, and you can't see anything outside the walls from here, but you can hear as the spotlight is pointed down outside the wall a variety of screeches and howls in what a sound to be like pain, and creatures scampering through the woods just outside the city wall. And then one of the keepers pulls on a large lever, and the gates begin to slide open. And then a different one of the keepers pulls on a chain, and the portcullis that stops people from approaching the gate directly rises up, and you can see outside the walls, giving you access to a small trail leading outside that was probably once a great road. And now we're back outside the city, the four of you trying to keep an eye out for any more attacks from these creatures.
Quite the welcoming party, eh?
I do have dancing lights up, by the way, so we can see.
All right.
Yes, we must move quickly out of here. Some of them got away. They could be back with more.
All right. Well, as you advance forward, you don't have any particular goal in mind. Malira just pointed out northward out of the city, past the gate that you just emerged from earlier, and she said that there have been reports of voices and moans of perhaps people, or at least something pretending to be people, in this direction.
Before we go, Emmy would like to gather up as many bones as you can from the creature.
All right, well, that is
That we
easy
just
enough to do. Stash away some bones.
I won't grab like anything big, just something just to study later.
This area just outside the city walls used to be just more of the city. So there are buildings in all directions. The city must have been absolutely massive all those many years ago when this was a bustling bastion of civilization. Now, though, it's just a bunch of hollowed out skeletons of buildings with the mist curling in all directions. And even when you're not being attacked by any particular creatures, you see occasionally strange beasts flying overhead with far too many legs, arms, and tentacles to be something naturally born of this world.
Lovely.
But as you advance forward, you're heading northward towards what appear to be perhaps a boiling point in the mist. It's difficult to see from the high tower above, but you use the telescopes, the spyglasses, to examine the areas just outside the city to choose a location for your maiden voyage. And there was a point that seemed to be the mist looks like almost like a liquid just outside the city walls, and this seemed to be a point where there were bubbles or a place where mist was particularly fast moving. So you're heading generally north without any particular goal in mind. Occasionally you pass by a strange, perhaps a zombie. You've heard of necromancy before. Some of you might have even interacted with a necromancer, and you've seen zombies before, and these are similar to that, but different. They are not decayed so much as just emaciated, gray-skinned people sort of wandering in different directions. Some of them whispering to themselves, other ones just staring off into space with their hollow eyes.
Sounds like my family.
I'll take notice of that. I'm very against zombies and necromancy and stuff, so I'll kind of give a look at it, like, of just disgust.
She says with a skeleton on her staff.
Oh, but not you. That I.
You're fine, Mr. Skeleton Staff. All other zombies, though.
No, he's mechanical. It's fine.
If we have time, maybe on the way back from this journey, we should put these to rest.
I mean, if they're not bugging anyone, what's the point of fighting them? I could just go ask them to sleep. Maybe that'll work.
I don't think they will listen to you.
Excuse me, Mr. Zombie. Will you just go back to rest?
As you approach one of these strange creatures,
I don't think you should do that.
I don't approach them. I'm saying this from far away.
You call out
Under
to
your
one
breath.
of these gray-skinned, what appears to be people. It's difficult to tell. And it sort of turns in your direction slowly and just sort of stares blankly at you and says,
Could
and
talk.
then turns back.
I think he did.
Sounds
Turns
a lot
back
like
around
me.
and wanders off.
Wait, are you a zombie, Gregtos? Oh
No,
my
no,
I mean,
no,
his
no.
Oh my
skin is
God.
his skin is awfully gray. I mean, could be.
They
It
must
all
be
makes sense.
family members.
I said it was my family. I said that not even 5 minutes ago.
This is true.
In the distance, you hear a mournful wail, like perhaps someone just with a deep, profound sadness starting to cry.
We're not near the ocean.
Actually, you are somewhat
Yeah.
near. Well, perhaps it's a large lake at the very least. It's to the west of you.
It's
Is it
different.
coming from?
It's not very close though. I wouldn't
Okay.
say
So,
no.
so not
no.
the direction
You were heading
we're
northward.
Should we be concerned about the mournful wailing from the west?
Probably, but that's not the direction we're heading. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more strange noises to.
Oh, absolutely. They're
be-
just constantly. It's the sounds perhaps of a jungle, except bad.
Except
Yeah,
bad.
I don't.
There are.
I think regardless, we're gonna hear something weird out here. So best to try to avoid it as much as possible.
As long as we don't draw attention to ourselves as I cast Cure Wounds on myself because I got hurt earlier and I meant to do it earlier.
As long as we don't try to talk to any more zombies.
I don't like talking to my family anyway. It's all good.
I don't like talking to your
I
family
would love to
either.
talk to your family. At least once.
Well, apparently they don't want to talk to you because that one just walked away. They ignored you.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself too.
I am fully healed.
Right, you cast your spells. Wonderful.
I rolled an 8 on the die. +4.
Nice.
As you make your way northward further, there are always just more creatures with once again, just far too many arms and legs. But you pass by a particularly large beast at one point, and it seemed to be hunched over. It's like a lion lounging on top of a kill, and it notices you walking by, and it appears to be like a tan-skinned, fleshy, perhaps a dog, but without fur. And as you pass by, its throat bulges as if it's inflating and glows bright
Gross.
red. And it seems to be inflating itself to make itself look more intimidating to get you to go away.
Can I intimidate it back?
You can certainly try.
Do you also
What do
have
you
a throat
want?
pouch?
I'm good at intimidation.
Okay, so what are you doing to try to intimidate this creature?
I'm real tempted to just be like, what? But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna pick up a pebble and be like, shoot, go
You
away.
gonna step
And
up.
like chuck the pebble like near it, but not at it.
All right. Go ahead and roll an intimidation check
Because
then.
I want it to go away. I want to be the bigger person. And I need to win. 17.
To be a shorter person when it eats you.
All right.
I have a really good intimidation.
She does.
Actually, I think it might be higher.
the,
Hold on, let me double check something. No, that's persuasion and deception. Yeah, 17.
Okay. Well, this creature, as you toss the pebble at it and it sort of clatters along the ground next to it, it sort of stands up and it reveals the thing that it has been leaning on top of. It's actually one of those strange gray wretches laying on the ground. It seems to have been eaten mostly, but the wound is healing as you watch it. It seems like this poor wretch is regenerating its body as it's being eaten. The creature, as you throw this pebble at it and try to make yourself look as big and menacing as possible, it grabs onto the zombie or whatever this creature is and pulls it backwards a few feet to get a little further away from you. And in the process, the strange wretch just kind of looks up you, tears in its eyes, or at least where its eyes would normally be. Right now, they are currently just hollow black holes, and it sort of reaches out to you all weakly as this creature pulls it backwards
Can I
away from you.
can I insight check that I know that it's upset?
Sure. Go ahead.
Maybe its sockets are just leaking.
Maybe, yeah.
That's very possible.
It's hard to tell.
That's a 6.
It's difficult to read its face because it doesn't have eyes, but it does look pathetic, and it doesn't even seem to be struggling against this creature that is eating it. Occasionally, this strange hyena-looking creature just takes another bite out of the wretch's abdomen, and you can hear like the gross chewing of flesh as it continues to watch you warily.
Should we just kill it?
But
Emmy's just gonna start walking by, and he's trying not to look at it because he doesn't want to care about the zombie creature, but he kind of keeps glancing over a little bit, like he wants to help it, but he's like, no, and he just keeps walking away from it.
I think it's crying.
I mean,
Don't care. Let's go, please. Let's go.
the creature
Wouldn't
sort of
you
raises
also
its
be
arm
crying?
up weakly and sort of goes,
Should I?
I would like to, but we do have a mission at the
I
moment.
cast vicious mockery on the creature. Not the one eating it, but the one that's being eaten.
okay.
In an attempt to get it to die sooner, so it's not just being eaten.
Okay.
I'm helping.
Well, it's okay. So Rissa's logic is it's dead anyway, but it seems to be suffering. So she doesn't want it to suffer, but she also doesn't want to fight it technically.
But you also don't want to not do anything, so...
I want to do a lot of things. I just want to intimidate shit. Or convince
Alright,
them to not fight me.
So, it rolled a natural 20 on its saving throw
Fuck.
to avoid being mocked to death.
I'm trying to help
God,
you, God.
It's like, God, I'm getting eaten. Now you're trying to make fun of me too. What the hell?
Look at you
Yeah,
just laying on the ground there, not doing anything.
This strange creature with its bulging throat takes another bite out of the creature and actually lifts it up a little bit off the ground.
Can somebody please just go kill it?
Cycle of life. Let's go.
It will.
I second
Take
that.
care
Let's
of
just leave this
itself.
alone. What are we doing here?
I'm gonna grab Rissa and just pull her along with us. Like, it will take care of itself. We don't need to intervene in this beast dinner.
Well, I'm not taking its food away from it. I'm just killing the food sooner so it doesn't suffer. Look, I'm just saying, if I get eaten by something, please make sure I'm dead.
If you try and intervene in this, you probably will be eaten by something. So let's just move.
All right. So we're moving on.
Yes.
Okay. You take one last look at the thing, and its abdomen regenerates once more before the large beast takes another bite
See, that's not
to
natural.
satisfy
Let's go.
its unending hunger. But you
Unending food supply. If only we had
I know.
this sort of thing in the city.
I was just thinking that.
Unlimited food.
Kind of makes me want to study these wretches to see if we could somehow incorporate this into
No,
our food.
that's not okay. Come on, guys. I don't care if they're dead or not. No. We can't just have Soylent Green.
Food is food.
She's just shaking
Well,
her head.
as you're having this conversation, let me think. I'm wondering who would be the first to notice. Who would probably Emmy would be the most likely to have the highest passive perception. Unless
Yep, 15.
One of you has something else that I don't know about. Emmy, you're sort of in your attempt to aggressively ignore the creature that you're walking away from. You focus fully on the path ahead, and you notice that the mist seems to be rushing towards you, not particularly fast, sort of like a lazy cascading past you, which is something that you couldn't see before. There didn't seem to be any particular direction until you've gotten to this sort of crossroads in the path forward through the city.
He's gonna just like notice that, and like he's aggressively going forward, like, you know, stomping away, and then he sees this and he just kind of stops and then slowly backs up.
Oh, sorry, Emmy. I was looking somewhere else. What's going on?
The
bumped
mist
into me like that.
seems to be coming towards us. I don't like the look of that.
Right. And now that the rest of you are paying attention, it does look like the mist seems to be flowing in a particular direction that it didn't have before. Before it was just sort of directionless, all flowing around like one might expect smoke to behave in the random winds of just the air. But now you can sort of see a particular direction that the most of the mist seems to be following, and it seems to be flowing towards you, or I guess from north to south.
If I kind of walk off to the side, does it seem like it's following me, or does it seem like it's just going in one direction?
It just seems like all of the mist is flowing in that direction.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of walk away from it then, just try to gain as much distance as possible.
All right, well, that is going to be going back with the way you came then.
I can't go off to like the side or anything.
Oh,
or
no, what I'm saying is all of the mist seems to be
in
that direction, and the mist is everywhere.
Okay.
So it's almost like there's a wind flowing through the mist, but you don't feel any wind on your face or anything.
Should we do, I mean, we need to go this way, but...
Just keep moving forward. I mean, it doesn't make sense like a lot of things around here, but we should just push through it.
All right.
Okay.
As we're heading toward this oncoming mist, maybe. How long has it been since the battle that this is now happening?
That was maybe 20 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
You've been walking through the mist ever since then.
Okay, my wild shape lasts 2 hours, so I still have the translucent body, and I'm giving off light so that we can all see.
All right.
I would like to just, as we're heading toward it, I'm just gonna toss out a radiant bolt out in front of us to see if I can hit anything that might be heading our direction.
All right. You know what? Go ahead and roll an attack, because that's the radiant bolt. You're saying one you were using against the creatures before, right?
Yeah, the bonus action attack.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack for me, just for fun.
15.
All right. So you fling off this bolt of starlight directly in front of you, and it sort of disappears into the mist. But then you can hear a ting as it hits something in the distance and knocks over what appears to be a sign, maybe, that you couldn't see before through the mist.
Exactly where I was aiming. I guess we're gonna keep going toward the sign then.
What the hell was that you hit?
I think it was some sort of sign.
Why are there? Well, I guess this is still part of the city, right? What used to be the city?
Yes. So you head forward into the mist towards this thing that Greythos knocked over, and on the ground it appears to be a sign written in the Ancients' language. If you are proficient in history, then you can read it no problem. Anyone else might have to struggle a little bit to be able to understand it.
I'm proficient in history.
in everything.
Great. Well, as you get close to the sign, you can see a large building in the distance, larger than any of the other ones you've passed by before. And the sign on the ground says, in the Ancients' language, siphon, power, and then the rest seems to be rubbed out or destroyed. And that's where we're going to end for now.
Bum, bum, bum.
That's fun.
Very nice.
That was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
And scary.
Took me a little bit to get myself situated with all my stuff in the computer, but I'm feeling a little bit more confident as time goes on.
Good.
Yeah. Growing pains.
For sure.
I'm looking through like 4 different Google Docs and also the papers on my desk.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, oh God, why didn't I put this all in a single place?
Because that would be smart.
We can't have that. Come on.
Yeah, I'm a Dungeons & Dragons player. Come on.
Thank you so much for checking out Behold Clearlight, our Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition actual play game. This world is brought to you by Ryan and played by a group of friends who are just looking to have fun and share our love for the tabletop world. Every other Thursday, we will release a new episode of Behold Clearlight, On the off weeks, Greg and I join other members of the TTRPG community and play non-D&D games. You can also check out Greg and I having random discussions on topics in the TTRPG and D&D world with guests on Mondays. If you enjoyed this, please don't hesitate to reach out on Twitter or on Facebook at Beholder to No One. Also, give us a review on iTunes or follow us on Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Keep being awesome. We'll see you next time. Bye.